So I want to talk about Warner again because there's been a lot going on with them. There's a lot of stuff getting canceled. Some stuff that I'm actually kind of surprised that they pulled the plug on. And there's also a rumor floating around about DC Comics that I really want to talk about because I've been covering comic books since I started doing YouTube. So I want to go over all of this. We're going to start here with Batgirl because Batgirl is it's an evolving story because more stuff keeps coming out. This is a recent interview with the filmmakers, and this is rather interesting. Let me read you what they said here. Weeks after HBO Max's DC movie Batgirl was canceled by the David Zaslav run Warner Brothers Discovery, the filmmakers said in an interview with French outlet Script that the studio promptly prevented them from accessing the Pix footage after unplugging the movie during post-production. It said, I went on the server and everything was gone. We were like effing S, all the scenes with Batman in them. As Deadline first told you, both filmmakers were in Morocco for a wedding when they first learned the bad news about Batgirl. So, yeah, all that Michael Keaton stuff is gone. Oh, over time, as I've thought about it, I don't like the idea of him coming back. Simply because he's just too old, and they have no interest in doing a Batman Beyond movie, which is what I'd really like to see him in. If you're going to do anything, do a third Tim Burton movie. Bring Tim Burton back. Money talks. Bring Michael Keaton back. He's already willing to do it. And do a Batman Beyond movie. What a great kind of cap and trilogy we could get out of those little Michael Keaton movies if that was done. And then you could do something with Batman Beyond. I think that would have been a smart idea, but it said they were going to do it with Batgirl, which is dumb. So, and he wasn't even going to really mentor her. So they've taken all of the footage, gone. They just promptly went in there and just got rid of it because they don't want this to leak. And I guarantee you these directors would have leaked it. They would have leaked it in its unfinished state. And it would have looked rough, too. It wasn't as finished as we thought, by the way. It cannot be released in its current state, underscoring the unusual maneuver for a studio to kill a film during a director's rough cut. There's no visual effects. We still had some scenes to shoot. So if one day they want to release the Batgirl movie, they'd have to give us the means to do it, to finish it properly with our vision, he added. So all the visual effects gone. So it would be a rough cut, big time. It would look awful. And they still had some scenes to shoot. So the big rumor was that all the footage was shot. That's not true. They still had some stuff to shoot, probably some reshoots as well. And no visual effects were completed. And that's according to the directors of the movie. Also, they've pulled the plug on the Batman series, Batman the Caped Crusader, which is kind of just looks like it would have been, because it was going to take place in the 1940s. So this is the guy who did the original Batman series, Bruce Timm, was going to be a part of this, but he was going to be doing it with J.J. Abrams. I would rather have Bruce Timm do it without J.J. Abrams. So this is canceled, and this is surprising because this probably would have gotten a lot of buzz, but David Zaslav saw something about it that he didn't like. He pulled the plug on it, which makes me think this is probably shit. Now, some people are saying he just doesn't care about animation, and maybe that's true, but anything that with J.J. Abrams attached to it automatically means shit to me. So I was not excited about this at all because of his work. So I'd rather not taint the legacy of Bruce Timm's Batman the Animated Series, which this would have been compared to big time, because that's the best version of Batman ever created. And he was the man largely responsible for it. So I'd rather just not have this come out. And it's not coming out. It's done. So that's gone. They also canceled this weird Ellen DeGeneres show targeted towards preschoolers. Get that the hell out of here, too. Bye-bye. Not sad to see this go at all. And then finally, the big one. Now, this one I'm really excited about. We knew this was going to come. And what's funny to me is there's a lot of shills out there that sit at their newsstands and think that DC Comics is untouchable. That for some reason, no one cares about money when it comes to comics. David Zaslav, for some reason, might have some kind of love for them, and he's just going to let things keep going, business as usual. That's not going to happen. David Zaslav is very much a penny pincher, and this guy is looking for ways to save money on every part of this company that he can. DC Comics is a giant waste of money. Now, I don't think he's going to close DC Comics. What I do think is heads are going to roll. I think Jim Lee is out. I think they're going to get rid of his ass. And they're going to get rid of, hopefully, and this is all hopeful thinking, a lot of these talentless hacktivists that keep failing upward, they got to go. Bring in some people that can actually do this shit right and cut down the line. Currently, half of all of the books DC Comics puts out are out of the top 100. That's embarrassing. Most of the comics that are in the top 50 are Batman comics because the only thing that they can sell are Batman comics. Nobody seems to care about the other characters at this company, and that's their own fault. Now, this rumor comes from Wes from Thinking Critical. I really like that channel. Give it a subscription. A lot of comic news every day. And he says he has a source from the accounting department at Warner's. And apparently, the rumor is that David Zaslav is asking, or at least the higher-ups at Warner Discovery are asking for a report on the financials of DC Comics. That's going to really expose this brand. And I really just don't see how this company is making money when your books are out of the top 100, half of your books. It's suspicious. So I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen here. I do think big changes are coming to DC Comics. Big changes. I don't think it's going to be outsourced. I think they'll keep it in-house for sure. But I do think some big cuts are coming. Some big heads are going to roll. I think you're going to see a complete overhaul in the way things are done at DC Comics. Because if there's one thing that Zaslav has made very clear since he's kind of come on board, from what we heard, is that he wants the DC brand to be as strong as possible. And this comic book brand is not strong. So I think you're going to see big changes. A lot of these shills who sit on social media and tell customers to F off and make their books political propaganda, I think a lot of that stuff is going to change. It has to change. I don't think this guy is playing games at all. The fact that he was willing to cancel this Caped Crusader show said a lot to me, because this is Batman. This show, for better or worse, at least the first season, would have been a giant hit. Would have made ratings. Like, this would have been successful, at least for a little bit. And because usually anything with Batman will make some money. So this said a lot to me personally. Like, nothing is untouchable. DC Comics is not untouchable. They're not some magic brand of nostalgia for these businessmen. And I got to tell you, from everything I've seen, David Zaslav comes off as a pretty ruthless businessman. So we'll see. But I believe this rumor. And I think the numbers and the money that are being made at this brand are really going to get combed through. And I think some big consequences are coming. I don't know when, but they're coming. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, make sure to follow me over on Twitch. I do watch parties, play video games over there. They're always fun. Follow me over there and come hang out. Also, make sure you subscribe to YellowFlash, my other channel. There's a link to that in the description as well. I do a lot of live streams over there that I don't do on this channel. Usually smaller and a little bit more personal. So make sure you follow me over there and sign up.